Yeah, no, you had a question?
You hurt a lot of people, so what's the worst you got hurt, or both of you got hurt trying to do a stunt?
No, for me, he's hurting people, not taking. No, I mean
they're not allowed to punch me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm trying to. Oh, I know. I'll tell you after.
Okay. For me, I've been very fortunate. Knock on wood. Is this wood? I like that sound. That's good. I was very fortunate. I never got any major injuries on the show on Power Rangers, but we were always, getting beaten every day. So I'd walk home with bruises and bumps and twists and those kind of things. So my worst day. This was the worst day. Was the night before. I ate some bad fish at a Thai restaurant or something, and I was feeling it the next day. And did you ever work with Makoto?
Yeah.
Okay, so Makoto was directing, and Makoto's he's just, I don't know, he's like hell, he's like Satan.
Yeah, he's a lot. He's just very.
He's very, he's very demanding, and there's no slacking off when this guy's working. And he was like, Rueben, come here. And I'm like, Makoto, I don't feel that well. I don't care. You're gonna do this. And he was making me do the most difficult stunts. I had to do like a backflip to my stomach, and then like a twist, all this crazy. And it was like a full day, a jerk back. And for some reason, he was just picking me out. I don't know, maybe because my stomach was messed up, and he just wanted to see me suffer that much more. But it was brutal because I had chills. Because stuff was gonna come out, and I was trying to hold it in. And every time I hit the ground, I so knew stuff was gonna spill, and there was gonna be brown stains and
the reverse sparks.
Yeah, the reverse sparks. He was getting me back.
Brown Ranger.
Yes, exactly. At the time, I think we were I was called a cog or something. I was in one of those cog suits. I don't remember what series or whatever that was, but that was brutal just because of what happened the night before.
What season cog? Was Turbo? Zeo? Yeah.
So that was horrible. So the stunts themselves were not that bad, but the bad fish the night before that sucked. Your turn, sir.
Just the same story I told you guys last year with that tree flip, practicing it, and which is, Johnny's supposed to spot me. Johnny Bosch was supposed to spot me. We were doing it like I did on a palm tree. Just commit to anything you do. You just gotta commit to it, because if you don't commit to it, you're just gonna, you can't do a backflip and get scared. Like in midair. Ooh, So like I did the tree flip, and I'm used to just running, like 3 or 4 steps. I did it in Dino Thunder, Koichi's like, you can still do this. It's been like 10 years. And no, it's fine. I'm like, I'm doing it, man. But I'm, a lot bigger than I was back then. I'm kept a couple spots, but it was fine. But I was doing this tree flip, and the palm trees have steps in them, like those little. I wasn't like doing this. I was like doing this, like that. And then the last one I just pushed, and then I was just so high. And Johnny was like. Right on my face, right on my teeth. I just felt like my teeth were busted. First day of filming on the Power Ranger movie, my whole face was just busted up. So they had to put like new skin, and most of my shots were shot like this from this side. So it's like anytime I'd have to do it, I just be like this. And then, but yeah, that was probably my worst injury, thanks to Johnny Bosch. When you see him, tell him because he just supposed to spot me. Yeah,
I might see him next week.
Good, tell him on that tree flip, he jacked me up. Sweet. He's like, you were so high up there, man. I couldn't spot you.
He's kind of short too.
Yeah, like, thanks.
Aaron is having his panel, and I only have like an hour left to film it.
A battery?
That battery only has like 69 minutes.
I don't think that's totally true. It's definitely a team. It's a teamwork. You have to work, with your partner, taking the hit, delivering the hit. It's not. I'd say it's.
Well,
not necessarily true.
Some people don't know karate that I've seen. I've seen stunt guys like them just make other people just look crazy good.
Yeah.
Like, 3 moves, and it's like, bang, bang, boom. And it's like, dude, you're making me work harder than that. But I have seen some people like that though. But I mean, if you're working with someone who's, I think wants to put just as much effort as the stunt guys, you know, that's fine. But I do say that just from my experience, stunt guys worked a lot harder than I did, you know, because I mean, I'm not twisting. I mean, I'd hit them and they'd bang, boom. You know, then going for an insert shot, bang, boom. Then go for another shot, bang, boom. You know, it's just my one kick, you know, my kick in water or something.
Yeah.
But they do work hard. But I think, at least if I work with a stunt guy, I'll put just as much effort. I'll try, you know. So, but I have seen some people like that though.
Yeah, I mean, the stunt guys will make it work if we have to, but you know, obviously, if you have guys with physical talent that can look good, you know, they're making it work just as much by, you know, controlling their kicks, by doing everything. And
that was after episode 16.
After episode 16, of course. But so it's mutual. The work ethic, I think, goes back and forth.
Practicing running, backflips, bounce, backflip. I mean, twist falls, just, you know, crazy stuff that I think the stunt guys do that actors really don't do. I was surprised, man. It was like pretty intense for 2 weeks. I mean, it was like early in the morning. I was like, Koichi, man, I think he was mad at me or something.
Is that in New Zealand?
Yeah, I was in New Zealand.
Yeah. When I first went to the States, I'm from the States. No, but I lived in Japan for 5 years, and I was working and training out there with those guys. And then I went to LA, and my first stop was giving Koichi a call and going out with those guys. And they basically said, come on over, come train with us tonight. Literally, I got off the plane, and they're like, we're training tonight, you should come. You used to be a B fighter, you gotta come. So, and right away I got thrown into some of the most intense.
Was it they trained at Valley then?
Yeah, up in, at the time they had a facility in Valencia that they would train at, and they dragged me over there, and it was awesome because it was what we were doing in Japan and the stunt schools there, amped up like 50%, and we were going for 2 hours, just constant, mini tramp, high falls, reactions, choreography, and we do 2 or 3 hours of this. And this is while they're shooting the series. You know, they would shoot the series, you know, Monday through Saturday sometimes, all the time. And still after they would shoot, like 12, 13-hour day, they would go and train for 3 hours a night, 2 or 3 nights a week. It was pretty
real.
cool.
That's why they were so skinny.
Yeah, exactly.
For real, it's like, I'm gonna eat, man.
Yeah, I was trying to.
No, we train. You have a bowl of rice. I'm serious. For real. They train all the time.
Yeah,
and the thing is, like, you watch, they're so dedicated, but they eat so quick.
Oh, they have to. They have to eat
Next.
so they can go train.
For real. I take my time. After I eat, I need about 15 minutes. These guys are already like practicing flips at lunchtime.
Yeah.
Just it was crazy.
It's
man.
pretty
That's the
hardcore.
kind of training they did. But for me, like Dyno Thunder training seemed to pick up more than it was in the beginning because we went through so many different directors. Like we went through. I would work with Jeff Pruitt for a long time. But before Jeff, it was Isaac Florentine. But before Isaac, it was regular directors shooting fight scenes, like regular just cameras, just like on hi-hats, just shooting the whole scene, just the whole scene. Like no cuts, no
master shots.
Boring master shots. And then Isaac came in, and that's when I was throwing the trash can lid down when I was the evil guy, and all those cool shots. Then the Power Rangers kind of like, oh, cool, yeah, we kind of like that style. And then Jeff came on. Jeff worked with Koichi. They were real close. They worked together. And then Jeff left, and then Koichi took over. And Koichi's been on there, I think, ever since.
Yeah.
And then Makoto was there, but he was part of the Alpha Stunt team.
Makoto came in to help Koichi.
Yeah.
For a while, and then actually one of the guys that's been working with me for a long time, Ken O'Hara, he's going this season to work with Koichi and be his sidekick.
Sweet.
But like Jason was saying, just to give you guys a background for stunt fighting and kind of the differences between Asian style fighting and how they typically do things in Hollywood. There's master shots, and then there's like kind of your insert shots or your pieces. And one of the reasons most of the Hong Kong or Japanese Asian style fights are so dynamic is because they shoot everything in pieces, and it's quicker cuts. And
Where you guys going? You can't leave in the middle of this talk.
Exactly.
That's rude.
Have a seat.
That's rude. That's not her sleeping. Oh, you're talking about master shots. I'm gonna leave now.
All right.
We all have to go to the restroom. I know. That's fine.
Anyways,
That's all right. We'll see you next time.
Most of the typical Hollywood way is to shoot everything in a master shot, which that you choreograph everything, and they, like Jason said, they put the camera way back, and then you do your fight. But what happens is the camera doesn't move. There's no camera movement, and there's these guys fighting for like 10 hours, and they're getting really tired. And by the end of the scene, you know, all your juice is gone, and there's nothing left. So.
That's like that bow cut I did in the first Power Ranger movie. Man, forget that.
It was a master shot?
No, I went with Jeff Amata on that one.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and it was just like, Jeff's good, but it's like, how many times do I need to do the whole
sequence?
Yeah. That Jeff Amata wasn't with us obviously long. Right. Jeff wasn't with us long. It was just like, we kept going through so many people. I swear I did that cut 32 times. 32 times, like the whole take. Finally I got to honestly 31. It was 4 in the morning. I was so tired, dude.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what you say, all the juice is gone.
Yeah, so that's what happens. So
my Power Ranger boot, I'm done. I was a little brat.
And what happens is you see the final thing, and none of it's usable. So you're wasting all this film, you're wasting the actor's time, you're wasting everything. So what happens with the Hong Kong guys and the Japanese guys, and now the Korean guys, all the Asia guys, they shoot things in pieces. So you just, it's like throw a garbage can away, or a punch. You just do one, or you do a series of punches and kicks up to so far, and you don't have to do the whole set of choreography. Especially if you do, if you see Jackie Chan, you see those long 5-minute, 10-minute fights. There's no way you could do that in one. I mean, maybe Jackie Chan could, but there's no way I could. And so that's the way it's kind of done on Power Rangers. That's why the action fight stuff is so much more dynamic than most of your typical Hollywood action stuff. You have a question?
It's more like a pop quiz.
Pop quiz.
Pop quiz.
Go ahead.
Danny Williams, you gonna pop quiz me?
Well, because people don't really know about it, and the topic of the part is rigging takes place in
I think she said rigging, but maybe she was like wigging? I don't know. Rigging, like stuff rigging, like wire rigging and those kinds of things.
I've dealt with wires before. I don't know, man. This sucks. You gotta have talent with wires, man.
Yeah.
You gotta have a talent. It looks so easy. It's like, okay, just pull wire like in that White Ranger thing. I was just like, dude. I mean, Cooch is like, you got all these guys that are just doing it all the time.
Is it still red? That's from a wire. Last week.
Yeah. That's crazy.
No, wires are, yes, they're a huge aspect of the show and the stunts, especially lately. If you watch a lot of the stuff, there's some really cool stuff going on with wires and explosions, and they're flying bikes and through the air on wires, and that all came from, again, like Hong Kong style flying stuff, and now Hollywood's incorporated so much of that. But I'd say all of the stunt guys on the show, we learned a lot about rigging and wire stuff for many reasons. Either we're on the wire or we're pulling somebody on the wire. And we all had to kind of be multitaskers as far as...
A couple of them got lucky too, because we did that wire gag when I was fighting the principal in Dino Thunder, and she was on that chair, so we had to flip that chair and land. That was kind of like one of those wire gags. Koichi was like, yeah, I don't know, we'll try. We tried, and finally it was just like, wow, boom, land. It was perfect.
Yeah, and that's the other thing. There's so many factors that go in with wires that it takes a lot. It's a huge teamwork effort, and it takes a lot of takes, obviously, to get the right one. And once you get it, boom, you move on. But sometimes, especially if you have props involved, and you've got timing, you've got a whole team of like 8 guys. One guy's pulling this, one guy's pulling that. This guy's got to make sure his timing goes right with the wire, and it's very complicated. But that's one of the reasons why we always train all the time to make that teamwork effort really work out. Good. All right. Any other questions? Quiz.